with module 3, where the main focus is on JavaScript and PHP. Okay, and this is the outcome after learning this module and also using PHP. Okay, so this is one. JavaScript is for client side coding and PHP it is for server side script. The main basics of JavaScript. So what is JavaScript? So you can just go with example. So how exactly the application is implemented with JavaScript. Okay, and also I told what is the difference between Java and JavaScript. Okay, both are not same. Even though the term there is a Java, it is not same as Java. Okay, so JavaScript is totally different, but some of the features of object oriented it is used in JavaScript. So to run JavaScript, it does not require JVM. Okay, it does not require. So even we discussed about the advantages. What are the main advantages of JavaScript? So mainly processing can be offloaded from the server to client machine. I think I gave yesterday one example. You just recall. So this was an example I given yesterday. That is how you can minimize the load of server. Okay. So instead of checking everything at the server side, so there are some of the tasks can be done at the client side itself. So example I have given the simple example, that is validation. Okay, so the validation can be done at the client side itself, so that the processing required at the server side can be reduced. The burden at the server side can be reduced. So example I have given, even if you take email ID. Okay, so without JavaScript, what happens? Whatever you enter at the field of email ID, even without @ and dot. So if you just entered your name, okay, and submit, still it will accept and it will be sent to the server. So at the server, it has to check that email is correct or not and send it back, indicating that it is not a valid email ID. Okay, so this is going to be hectic at the server. So every time the simple things, sending a request to the server and checking that and getting the result back, it is going to be hectic, or the more burden is given at the server side. So that can be reduced by just writing a simple script at the client side. Okay, that is I told for validation purpose. So example, you are going to write a small function where it will check the field of is it the mail ID. So if it is having @ you will be writing a function. Okay, so that function it is going to check. So it is having @ and also dot. I cannot just go with a com, because after a dot you can have, there are different domains. Okay, so you can just check it for dot and @. Okay, if it is there, then it can be considered as a valid email ID. Okay, so this processing you can do it at the client side itself. In the browser itself, you can write a small piece of JavaScript code to check these things. Okay, so in such case, when you submit the button, so that JavaScript it is going to validate these fields. Okay, if it is correct, then that information is submitted to the server. Otherwise, it will rise in a pop-up message indicating so the entered email ID is not correct. It is not valid. Okay, so that is one simple example how it is possible to reduce the processing at the server side. Okay, processing can be offloaded from server to client machine, thereby reducing the load on the server. This is a very, very important advantage why we need to use or why we need to go for JavaScript. Okay, is it clear? See, in the exam you may get question about what are the advantage and disadvantage of JavaScript. You should be able to understand this first advantage. Okay, processing can be offloaded. That means you can just do some of the processing of data before submitting to the server at the client side itself. Okay, so thereby reducing the load on the server. So browser can respond more rapidly to user events than request to a remote server ever could. Okay, so that means sometimes if you are writing some small script to perform a particular action, okay, if it is written at the client side itself, okay, so the client can get the response at faster rate. So instead of sending the request to the server and getting the result, it will take some amount of time. Maybe if you have observed, when you just type URL, okay, in the beginning you will get a blank page, okay, indicating. So it is taking some amount of time to get the data from server to the client. So that can be reduced to some of the events, okay, by writing JavaScript at the client side. Then JavaScript can interact with the downloaded HTML in a way the server cannot. Okay, so whatever the data or response you are getting from server side, so that can be still, you can make it more interactive or responsive to the clients. Okay, creating a user experience more like a desktop software than the simple HTML ever code. So that is mainly for interaction purpose. So for this also you can take example of validation. Okay, so interactively, whatever the data you entered, if it is not entered correctly, you can just write a script to check the user is given the correct input or not. Okay, immediately you will be getting the result without any much. So then what are the drawbacks? Okay, so even though we have a lot of advantage with the JavaScript, there are some limitations. So there is no guarantee that client has JavaScript enabled. So what is the meaning of this? So even though consider you designed an application with JavaScript, maybe I am a client, I have not enabled my JavaScript in my browser. So that is a drawback. I may, like, whatever the features you have given, so that is not useful for such type of client. So always your browser should be having enabled JavaScript, then only. And also sometimes there are like a problem with the browsers. Okay, so some of the options it works with a here options in the sense the features. Some of the browsers it supports and some of the browsers it won't support. So that is also leads to sometimes it leads to an error. Okay, and JavaScript heavy web application can be complicated to debug and maintain. Okay, so when you are adding more code for different events in the web application, okay, sometimes it is going to be, the code is going to be complicated. Okay, if you are dealing with a small project, it does not matter. If it is a like complex project, so debugging that code and maintaining in the sense, if you want to update, modify, okay, so it is going to be a little bit complicated. So that is one limitation, but it is not a major limitation. The major limitations comes, or the disadvantage comes here, the first one. Okay, so not everybody aware of that JavaScript is enabled or not. Okay, so who are having the knowledge of JavaScript, they may be enabling the JavaScript so that those features can be viewed by the client. Okay, so now always it is not a JavaScript for client-side scripting. So we have many other different scripting languages that can be used. So here example, here we have 3 examples. One is plugins, okay, the second one is Flash and Java applets. So these are also considered as a client-side scripting language. So let's just go in brief about these. So first I'll go with the Flash. There is an example, you can just see how it works. Adobe Flash. Okay, maybe you are aware of all these things. So when the user requests a page, you can just see where is one. Okay, consider the user requests a page, the particular HTML page. The request goes to server. Okay, and the resultant request, whatever the user is requested, that is returned to the user. So now here, when you are writing this code client-side scripting using Flash, so here it is having an extension called SWF. Okay, SWF stands for, so SWF stands for Shockwave Flash. Extension used for the Flash. You can just see here there is an example. Okay, so game.swf, it is somewhat like an animation programming. Okay, so animation programming, you will be using these Adobe Flash most of the time for animated advertisement, online games. Okay, so in such cases you can go for Adobe flash. So when the request comes from the server, okay, so it will just add these additional changes of interface, whatever the result comes from the server. So in additional to that, it is going to add this flash information or scripting language, and accordingly it will run the program and the result will be viewed by the client. Okay, so this is one example. So how to implement this? So how you can add the flash? Okay, so JavaScript, for that we have a tag called script. Okay, so we have a tag called script. Within that you will be able to write the JavaScript. So that we are going to discuss in detail, but we are not going to discuss in detail about the scripting language Flash and Java applets. But let me just explain in brief. So if you want to add any of the SWF files, okay, if you want to do coding using Flash, so you have a tag called object. Okay, you can use Flash file to refer using object tag. I think you can just observe here, it is there, using object tag. Can you see here? There is an extension object data is equal to that file name. So the file name should have extension SWF, Shockwave Flash. Okay, so it is not used in all the cases. Mainly it is used for some animated information. If you want to advertise, or if you want to go for something on online games, if you want to put some information regarding this, you can use this out of Flash. Okay, for that you can use the object tag. Similarly, we have applets. Okay, similarly we have applets. I think everybody know the term applet. Yes, no? Have you created any program? Just if you have used any applet, if you have created, just put in the chat yes. Yes, respond. How many of you have used, or how many of you have run the program, applet program? If you have studied, I think definitely you will be knowing about the applet. If you have executed any program, just respond. Put in chat box yes. So if you are not aware of applets, you just check it once. How applets works, how you can write a simple code. So usually it will be a part of syllabus. I don't know how come you have not studied. If you have not studied, just today run a small program. Okay, create your own program and run the Java applet. Okay, so here JavaScript is Java applet. So that means applet in terms of a small application that performs a relative small task. If you want to perform a particular small task, for that you're going to create an applet. Okay, so applet, how they are written, what is the coding used? You are going to use the normal simple Java code for writing or creating the applets. Okay, so in case of HTML, you're going to use the applet tag. Okay, so you're going to include that applet, you're going to use applet tag. Okay, so now when it comes for running, okay, when you want to run the applet, so this is normal process. The client is requesting, the server is responding. Okay, so whatever the class it is to be executed, it will be sent back to the server. Once it is executed, so the resultant will be sent to the user, okay, or the client. So in the client machine, in the browser, it is going to run these applets. To run these applets, it requires JRE. What is JRE stands for? Okay, so it requires this should be enabled or installed in your system. JRE. Yes, response. See, sometimes when I am asking question, I want the response. I think it will not take much time to type. What is the meaning of JRE? So whenever if you want to run applets, it requires JRE to be installed in your system. So accordingly, the applet is going to run, and the reflect of resultant data, it is displayed on the client machine or the client browser. Okay, so like this, you can use not only the JavaScript, you can use Adobe Flash or you can use Java Applet to do some changes in terms of presentation or whatever the data that result comes from the server, you can represent in a different way. Okay. So now we'll just move or we'll focus mainly on JavaScript. Okay. So we are not going to discuss about how this Flash or how Java applets can be included in HTML. For your curiosity, you can just run. Okay. So if you get time, just try to include this Flash or applet in your browser. Okay. You have to create a separate program for Flash with a name SWF. Okay. Even for applet also. Okay. After that, you have to include Flash should be included using object tag and Java applet should be included using applet tag. Okay, so that is how you can check your program how these applet and Flash works. Okay, I'll just leave this experiment for yourself. I want everyone just try once how exactly it can be included in your browser in HTML program. Okay, so let's move on to some brief history about JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript was introduced by Netscape. Okay, so this is the first Netscape Navigator. Okay, the browser, they have introduced this use of JavaScript in 1996. Okay, and before they used to call, before whatever the term we are using JavaScript, in the beginning they used to use the term LiveScript. Okay, so this is a term used in the beginning days. And as and when we move to added some additional features, it is changed to JavaScript. Okay. So here JavaScript is in fact an implementation of standardized scripting language. We call it as ECMA script. Okay. So the standard implementation of JavaScript, it is called as ECMA script. So this is another term used. So JavaScript was slightly useful, quite often very annoying to many users. Okay, so maybe I told why it is not useful, JavaScript, the drawback of JavaScript, because some of the browser does not support JavaScript. Okay, so the older version, maybe the newer version, it supports. So Internet Explorer, okay, some particular version, we will just check it which version is not supporting, but the current version it is supporting. So Internet Explorer at first did not support the JavaScript. Okay, so in the beginning days, maybe the older version, it was not supporting the JavaScript. So in such cases, okay, so what they used to use is different scripting language. We have VB script. They used to use other scripting languages where the JavaScript is not supported. So in such cases, they used to go for the different scripting language. So this JavaScript also sometimes we termed it as JScript. Okay, so it is termed it as JScript. So do you know who is having ownership of this JavaScript trademark? So Oracle company, okay, Oracle is currently having the trademark for JavaScript. So now what is the current version? You just check it. I have not checked presently which version, but in the textbook, whatever we are going to discuss, the version we are going to discuss is 1.8.5. Okay, so you just check it. What is the latest version of JavaScript is available, so that you take it as an assignment and check it. Now, before going to the actual JavaScript, so I want to just explain some of the important information. Let me just go to the textbook so that you can view the. So this is minimized. Just tell me, is this diagram is visible clearly? So this is the diagram that tells so how request and response happens. If it is a normal HTTP, a request. I think everybody aware of it. So you can just go with the numbering, what is the sequence in which the process is happening. Just go through this. So I will explain. So what is the difference between this normal HTTP request, what is this happening, and also there is one more concept or one more technique called as AJAX. Okay, so what is that AJAX, how it is go through this, very simple flow it is given. I don't think so it is difficult to understand. Let me just explain. Okay, so consider the user is requesting some particular page to the server. Okay, that is denoted in this number 1. After that, what happens? The server is going to respond. Okay, how it will respond? Returning the page detail the user is requested. Then what the user will do? So consider it is containing some inputs taken or some registration, something like that, some particular form. Then what the user will do? You can just see the form. It is having some radio buttons and also for sending back that information to the server, you have a button. So now, after filling this, okay, the user will select the country and the user will click on update. Okay, so after clicking on update, what happens? So I'm selecting country. Okay, here India is not there. So you consider there is India. After that, it has to select the state. Okay, so you can just see options, select options here. It has to update the list for accordingly the country whatever I have selected. Okay, so if I have taken Australia, the corresponding state should be selected. But here what happens in between? When I click on update, okay, it is not going to display the state immediately. So once you click on this update, once again the request is sent to the server. Okay, once again request is sent to the server. Then the server, based on the input selected by the client, it will display the list of state. Okay, list of state. Then the user will be able to select that particular state. Okay, you can just see like this. So these are the state. So user can select here. A request page with updated form is returned. Okay, so this is after updating. Immediately will not get. So this information should be sent to the server, and server once again it will return back the result. So indicating, so based on this country, what are the states available? So sent to the client. Then what the client will do? So client accordingly based on the input, so the user will select the information, any of the particular state, and the user will proceed. Okay, so this is a normal request response happens in case of HTTP. Okay, understood now everybody this simple process? So now when you check in real time, okay, when you check in real time, so that is not happening directly like that. So let me just tell you in detail what happens if you are using HTTP request response. Okay, so this is as a user, if you are having like a high internet speed, so you may be getting very like with a small fraction of nanosecond you will get the results. But if there is some issues with the internet, so you can see the changes what is happening if you are using normal HTTP request. Okay, even if you are having high speed internet, the process is same, but the thing is you will get the result faster. Okay, so now what happens here when the user click on update? Okay, so immediately if you have observed, so the screen goes blank. Okay, the screen goes blank because that request is sent to the server. Okay, and it will be blank till you get the result from the server. Okay, so that is the problem with this HTTP request response. So you can just observe here. Okay, so when request comes, so till you get the response, the page will be blank. So after the browser receives a response to its HTTP request, it blank the browser window. Even if you want, maybe many times when you are filling some applications, when you click on submit, you can just see for some time there is a blank screen. Okay, that means it is getting the data from server side. Okay. Okay, once it is received, okay, the data from the server side, it will display on the client browser. So once again, if it is the user want to perform particular operation like update, so if it is done, so that request is sent to the server. Then server, when it is going to the server, okay, so when it goes to the server and till you get the response from the server, so that particular page, it will show the blank page. Okay, so let me just show you. I don't know, it is, if net is low, you can just observe that. I'll just check some particular website. Okay, can you see white blank screen? So when the request comes, when request goes to the server, till you get the result, so the browser goes blank. The white page, it is displayed. Okay, so that is the problem happening in HTTP request response. So how it is resolved? Okay, let me just go back to the. Okay, so this is one problem with the HTTP, normal HTTP request. So that problem can be resolved using Ajax. Okay, so what is Ajax? So you will be learning Ajax in module 4. Module 4, or it may be, I think, module 5. At the last, you will be learning about the Ajax. What is Ajax? How it can be used? That is asynchronous Java, JavaScript, and XML. Okay, so this is implemented using Ajax. So here Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So here A stands for AND. Okay, so this is the advanced concept of JavaScript. So we'll be discussing this Ajax in the later classes. But here I'll just show you what is the effect of using Ajax program in your application. Okay. Okay, so you can just observe the steps carefully. There is nothing complex in this. So when the request comes, okay, the server, it will take some amount of time. Still, you will be having the blank page displayed. So once you get the details from the server side, okay, whatever the request you made at the server side, so you'll be getting that details. And here, if you click on particular input and click on update, okay, what happens is it is not going for blank space, okay, blank page. So it will be just here only as it is, and after some time you will be getting the whatever the list of state according to the input you have selected. Okay, so this blank space, what is happened in HTTP request response, so that problem, it is not going to happen if you use Ajax. Okay, so that is one difference between these two. Okay, it will be staying in this page only till you get the result. Once the result is there, immediately, so you will be getting those options or whatever the details it requires, it is going to display. Only thing is, in between, it will not go from this page to the blank screen. Okay, so here we have, there are so many advanced concepts, so those are all not part of syllabus. JSON, okay, .node.js. So if possible, if you are interested, we can plan one workshop on these things. Okay, jQuery. Thing is, I am ready to plan, but I want interest from your side also, because I don't want to embarrass the resource person. So if you are responding properly, we'll plan. Maybe not immediately. So I need to find, are you people are interested? Can you tell, to learn some of the advanced things that is not there for the syllabus? Okay, whatever are the advanced concept, it is not there for syllabus. We can plan for one workshop. Are you people are interested? Yes, if you are interested, raise your hand. We can just plan it for 1 hour per day, because many of the things only Priyanka be Sakshi. What about others? Others not interested? Okay, so with interest, if you are telling, definitely we'll plan it. So even HOD informed regarding this, we'll plan. So by that time, I want everybody perfect in HTML, at least the basic CSS. Maybe at least in 5 to 6 classes, we can do to some extent even JavaScript. Okay, so afterwards, I'll plan for the workshop. What about others? Aishwarya, Apurva, Lakshmi, Shravani, you people are not interested? So only for the first time, no response. Only if I ask second time, then the response will come. Okay, so now to know the advanced things, it requires the basic concept. Okay, so the person who is going to take, once again, don't make them to teach the basics. If you know the basic thoroughly, definitely it will be useful. Go for studying the advanced things. Okay, so just work with the basic things. We'll plan one workshop for the advanced concept. So last, maybe not last year, 1 year back when I handled, so I planned for workshop and executed very well. Okay, the student learned some of the new concepts related to web technology. Okay, so that was not part of syllabus. Even sometimes if it is part of syllabus, we'll be giving more importance to the theory part. Okay, so we'll not explore more on practical. Okay, in such cases, it is better to go for some workshops. Okay, so this is about the JavaScript, that is Ajax. You can just observe the difference between this one. First time definitely there will be a blank screen even if you use Ajax. Okay, so because it is taking time to load the page. Even I think whatever I have shown now, you have observed that it was taking some time. Now if I try once again the same website, I think I will be able to quickly open that page compared to the first time. So can you answer how come I'll be able to open this browser, but still maybe my internet is slow, but sometimes you will get the page very quickly. What may be the reason? Somebody answer. Sorry. Okay, so my internet may be a little bit slow, but otherwise you will be getting the page very immediately. It will not take much time. Or else if I have compared when first time I have requested and the second time, so definitely the time will be less. Time taken to load that page is less. Can you tell what may be the reason why page is loaded faster when I access second time? Yes, answer fast. You try later. Okay, so try to open one particular page. First time it will take more time. Second time, so immediately you will be able to open the page. What may be the reason? Okay, so that whatever the page you requested first time, that will be there in the cache. Okay, so if you are requesting same page, so there may be possibility the time taken to load that page, it will be very less. Yes, yes, Chandan. Answer is correct. I want everybody should respond like this. See, otherwise you won't learn. Blindly, if you are simply joining and leaving the class, it's of no use. You should respond. So from now onwards, I'll be observing who is not going to respond for my questions. Then I will take the action. Okay, so let me just go back to this. Okay, so this is one small diagram that tells how we can use this HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Let me just, for curiosity purpose, I'll just run one small program that will show like why we need JavaScript. It is not just for a validation. Still, you can, in terms of presentation of data, can be done very well using JavaScript. Okay, just observe. I have a piece of code. I think I need to open the compiler. Okay, you just observe. So I have just put HTML code. Okay, so I got the text that is written in paragraph. Let me just apply some style for this using CSS. Okay, so these are the things. Some of the changes I have done for the that whatever the content it is put in the paragraph tag. Okay, so some changes I have made to this paragraph. You can just observe. So maybe I think all these properties everybody knows. If you don't know, go back and understand so what each property tells. Okay, so this is done. So what is happening here? So I'm just able to see there is a text information, player 1, Cherish. Okay, so if I want to add some more interaction to this information, okay, then I can go with the JavaScript. So in JavaScript, you can create the variables, you can create the functions. Okay, so the reusability can be done using JavaScript. So let me just put this small piece of code where there is a function, small function performing particular task. Okay, don't worry about all the functions. We'll be discussing those functions in detail. So I'll just reduce this part. And this is the function I have added. What is the function? Update name. Okay. So now when I click on this particular text, you will be getting one alert message. Okay. You will be getting one input box. So that is called as prompt function. You will be using all these things. So prompt function. So where it will be asking for the name. Okay. So I'm just typing my name. So that is done. How I got this? Using this prompt function. Enter your name. Then I'll click on this. Okay. So I'll be able to display my name here. Okay. So like this, lot of things can be done using JavaScript. So most of the time we'll tell that it is for validation, not only validation work done. Okay, so now what is the difference between all this? Okay, whatever I told here, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So what is the purpose of using? So already you know HTML, it is mainly for defining the content of web pages, and CSS, it is used for layout of the web pages. Okay, you are going to design whatever the content it is put in the HTML, you are going to design by creating different layouts. Now JavaScript. Okay, so you are going to write a program. Okay, the behavior of the web pages. Okay, you can change the behavior of the web pages by writing the JavaScript. Okay, so next we'll move on to layers. So your JavaScript, it is having different layers. The operation, whatever it is going to perform, it is categorized into different layers. So when designing a software to solve a problem, it is often helpful to abstract the solution a little bit to help build cognitive model in your mind that you can implement. Okay. Okay, so what are the layers are available? The main layers. Why layers is required? You just correlate this to OSI model. So why layering was required in computer network OSI model? if you know that, the same thing it is going to be applicable to just segregate all the functionality provided by each layer. So here also the same thing it is going to happen. Presentation layer, we have mainly 3 layers. Whatever the task to be performed, it is categorized into 3 layers. So in the first layer, presentation layer, so here mainly the class is focused on user interface. Okay, so that means mainly on GUI, graphical user interface, how you want to present the data. So for that purpose, you are going to use the presentation layer. Design purpose. Next, business layer. So here most of the time it will be performing some logical operations. The business layer where it is going to perform some of the logical operations. It will be having some of the different capabilities and responsibilities to perform based on the input particular action to be performed. So all that it is going to implement it at the business layer. And here the most of the time the entities involved are customers, products and sales. Then the third one is data layer. Okay, so the data layer, the name itself tells. So here you will be working with a database. Okay, so data layer indicates it is nothing but the data. So classes that handles interaction with the data sources. Data sources is nothing but database. So you will be writing code in the data layer where it requires database interaction. Okay, so now according to these layers, so it is splitted into, you can just observe how these layers are formed. So first HTML, okay, that is a basic thing for designing the web page. Then followed by CSS, then JavaScript. So in JavaScript we have discussed 3 layers, so that is represented here. So one layer represents presentation, and also JavaScript validation also comes under presentation only. Okay, presentation layer, it is a part of presentation layer. Then JavaScript asynchronous, this comes under a business layer. Okay, so whatever the task to be performed I told in business layer, that is implemented at JavaScript asynchronous layer. Then JavaScript framework, that is called jQuery. Okay, so that comes under data layer. So now what exactly, so I think presentation you understood. Validation, everybody knows what is the meaning of validation. So we'll just discuss in brief about these layers. Okay, so I will not move on to this once again. We'll start from here. JavaScript. This is, we've already discussed this one and this one. So we'll move on to JavaScript presentation. What exactly happens in the JavaScript presentation? Okay, so here normally you will be giving more importance for the how we are going to present the data. Okay, in terms of representing the data, like creating, hiding the data, or displaying the data, or multiple layouts how you can create. So all this comes under the presentation layer. Okay, and even when you just go to the website, okay, when you go to the website, so you'll be having so many. If I just move on the cursor to a particular text, you can just see there is an immediately underline is formed. Okay, and also if I just click on this arrow, I am getting so many information. Okay, so all this comes under the presentation layer. All this, whatever the design you can, or the changes you can see, all this comes under the presentation layer. You are going to put the code, okay, JavaScript code, so that performs all these things. Next, validation. Okay, so what is validation layer? So this is mainly used for validating the data. Okay, validate the logical aspect of the user data. The example I already told in the beginning of this class, what is the meaning of validation. Okay, so if you are creating a or filling the registration form, if there is a field email ID, So if you are entering email ID, you need to write a JavaScript where it should check it, whatever the input you have entered, is it having the at and also dot a symbol in the given input text. Okay. So if it is correct, then the data will be sent to the server. Otherwise, it should rise in a pop-up message, alert message indicating so the email ID is not correct or it is incorrect. Okay, I think